I'd ask Pastor Greg Hudson to lead us in our invitation.
Let's pray. Dear God, we come to you this evening. We thank you again for the privilege we have to live in this country. We thank you for the freedoms we enjoy. We thank you for our soldiers over the centuries that have fought to give us this freedom and this right. Lord, we know the rest of the world either hates us or loves us, but they don't enjoy what we enjoy. If you would help us tonight with that in mind to move forward with your blessing, be with us in this meeting. If you would give us guidance as we make some decisions on finances and other areas. Again, help us to remember how blessed we are in this nation. We ask this in your Son's name. Amen.
Bill Grant, will you lead us in the
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First off, will you have a roll call, please?
Steve Arden.
Here.
Mike Scipio.
Here.
Greg Hudson.
Here.
Greg Wolf.
Here.
Bonnie Thompson.
Present.
Jim Hughes.
Here.
Linda Vargas.
I'm here.
A quorum being present, I declare the February 4th, 2019 meeting of the Dunbar City Council in order. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the January 22nd, 2019 council meeting.
Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Scipio to approve the minutes of the January 22nd, 2019 council meeting. Seconded by Councilman Hudson. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the appointment of Doug Fleshman to fill the unexpired term of Harold Prego for the second ward. We've had two other people that had expressed interest in the position. They were Virginia Nesselwood and Barbara Weimer. I've talked to both of them prior to making this announcement to get their feedback and inputs. Doug has served on council once before. Harold was appointed to council when he ran for office after being appointed. He was defeated by Doug. And Doug resigned from council due to extenuating circumstances. Harold was appointed to replace him. So, based on his experience as a longtime Dunbar resident, member of the fire department, active in his church, being active on the council, I recommend the appointment of Doug Fleshman to the vacant seat on City Council.
I make a motion that we accept Doug as the replacement for Harold Craig in the second.
I'll second that. There's been a motion by Councilwoman Thompson to accept the appointment of Doug Fleshman to fill the unexpired term of Harold Craig for the second ward, seconded by Councilman Wolf. Any further discussion or comment? Being none, all those in favor will indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Doug, come forward. Just don't pat you on top of it. Doug Fletcher,
I, Doug Fletcher,
having been duly appointed by the mayor
duly appointed by the mayor,
and confirmed by the council
confirmed by the council,
to replace Harold Craig
replace Harold Craig,
and complete his term of office
and complete his term of office
of city council of the city of Dunbar, Knox County, West Virginia,
of City Council of the City of Dunbar, Knox County, West Virginia,
having been duly sworn by the undersigned authority
having been duly sworn by the undersigned authority,
says he is duly qualified to hold said office
says he is duly qualified to hold said office
as prescribed by the charter of the city of Dunbar.
as prescribed by the charter of the City of Dunbar.
He is not subject to any of the disqualifications
It's not subject to any disqualifications
prescribed there herein.
prescribed herein.
That was exact. That he will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of West Virginia.
the Constitution of West Virginia.
That I will faithfully,
That I will faithfully,
honestly
honestly
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of city council to the best of my skill and judgment.
discharge the duties of the City Council to the best of my skills and judgment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You can make your acceptance speech from here, or you can make it from up there.
I would just like to say I'm honored to be chosen to sit back in the City Council. Especially working with the new staff, new Congress, new council people. But I'm truly humbled to be chosen to sit in the vacated seat by Mr. Harold Craig. He was a good person, good citizen of the city, and I understand he had a few projects that he's working on, and good projects of his. And I hope that I can follow through with those and complete as he wanted them done. Thank you. That's it. That's all.
Sit and talk.
Yes.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is invoices for payment.
Mr. Chairman, our invoices for this last period totaled $94,411.49. So move that we pay these.
Are you all hearing okay? There seems to be a little bit of feedback.
Yeah.
They're louder than you. You're not very loud. I don't think so.
You don't think I'm very loud?
Better.
But it's the end, it echoes.
That's better.
It echoes in my head. It sounds like I'm talking louder than what I am. I'm sorry. I just won't be able to hear you now. Is that a bad thing?
There is feedback. More than usual, or there's some humming I hear.
Yeah, there's some feedback. It's like there's a hum to the air.
Okay. We're going to skip item 8 for a few minutes. We're going to go on to item number 9, new business. First item under new business is approval to purchase a trailer for the Public Works Department. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped right through there. I guess I can't think while I can't hear. There's been a motion by Councilman Hudson to approve invoices in the total $94,411.49. Seconded by Councilman Scipio. Any further questions or comments? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay. We're skipping item number 8 for a few minutes, going on down to number 9, new business. First item is approval to purchase a trailer for the Public Works Department.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the purchase of the trailer for the Public Works Department at a cost of $3,190. Second.
Just for the record, that's to Gatorade, what they did on there.
Okay. There's been a motion by Councilman Wolf to approve the purchase of a trailer for the Public Works Department transport equipment at a cost of $3,190 by Gatorade, seconded by Councilman Scipio. Any further question or comment? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is approval to repair a leak seal in the 2014 garbage truck number 14 at a cost of, and there's been a modification to that because the price in there indicates taxes, and the finance committee would reduce it.
Yes, the new cost is $1,564.63. Again, the mayor reflected that's minus the sales tax that was inadvertently added to the bid. Second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Scipio to approve the repair of a leaking seal in the 2014 garbage truck number 14 at a cost of $1,564.63. Seconded by Councilman Hudson. Any further question or comment? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. No. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval of an emergency repair to the city park caretaker's house heating system.
Make a motion to approve the amount of $2,700 to Pearson repair.
I'll second.
There's been a motion by Councilman Scipio to approve the emergency repair of the city park caretaker's house heating system at a cost of $2,700 by Pearson Mechanical, seconded by Councilwoman August. Any further questions or comment? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is approval to purchase a new 1.5 ton GMC 3500 dump truck.
Make a motion we approve the purchase of a 1.5 ton GMC dump truck from Dunbar, that's on state in the amount of $56,221. I'll second that.
There's been a motion by Councilman Scipio for the approval of the purchase of a new 1.5 ton GMC 3500 dump truck with van and snowplow under state contract for $56,221 for Thornhill, seconded by Councilman Wolf. Any further questions or comment?
I have a question. In the finance meeting, we did agree to purchase it, or recommend purchase with a lease agreement. You want to include it in this motion or you want to add that to the
That'll go up to 8A.
That's a separate item.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the approval of repairs to the ladder truck.
I move that we pay the $3,201.78 for repairs to the ladder truck.
Second. That is Matheny Fire and Emergency Services.
There's been a motion on the floor by Councilwoman August to approve the repairs to the ladder truck totaling $3,201.78 from Matheny Fire and Emergency Services. Was seconded by Councilman Hudson. Any comments, clarifications, or questions? Being none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. And we'll jump back up to item number 8 on the agenda. And it is a approval of the resolution authorizing the execution of a lease purchase agreement for the acquisition of the new dump truck with a 5-year term and $1,073.69 payment per month.
Should be from February financial. Second.
Mr. Mayor, may I speak to it?
Yes, sir.
Just for clarification, the way this works in the state of West Virginia, and your agenda, it mentions a 5-year lease, but it has the word purchase with it. It's a technicality, but when you lease probably a car, when it's done, you have to turn it back in. The way this is done to meet West Virginia code, because you're not allowed to take a traditional loan out, it is a lease purchase. So it's essentially the same as a car loan, but it's got different wording. So we're paying 4.29% for the 5 years, and we can pay it off early with no penalty. But when it is paid off, it's our truck. It doesn't turn back in. It's the same thing we've done with the garbage trucks and backhoe. We've got larger purchases on that. So even though it does have the word lease in it, the legality is slightly different than if we personally lease the car. You don't have to turn it back in. It's citizens of Dunbar's property once the 5-year term is done.
Any further question, comment, clarification? Being none, there's a motion by Councilman Scipio to approve the resolution, the execution of the resolution for the lease purchase of the GMC dump truck on a 5-year term at $1,073.69 payment per month. Seconded by Councilman Wolf. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. For a little bit further clarification, at the I had recommended lease purchase at the finance committee meeting because we're in a fairly good financial position right now, and this committee has met and came up with a listing of paving work and other work that needs to be done through the city. So we want to keep some of our cash asset available to start doing that work in the spring as soon as the weather breaks and we can put it out to bid and start getting prices to do that. So that was the reasoning behind the lease purchase. And if we find ourselves in a financial position, we want to go ahead and pay that off, we can go ahead and pay it off at any time during the lease cycle period. Okay. With that, we'll go to reports from officers and committees. Chief Moss.
Good evening, everyone. Really don't have a lot to talk about tonight. I just want to, one of the 3 new hires started week 4 today, actually Sunday night and today. I'll give you a snapshot of our day today, from 6 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock. When I got these numbers together, we had 21 calls in those 11 hours, ended up with 6 reports, 4 arrests. There's 5 vehicle stops a day, which resulted in 2 warnings, 7 tickets, 2 cars were towed. There was 4 warning parking tickets issued today and 1 parking ticket issued today. Other than that,
All that happened today?
that's an 11-hour snapshot.
Sun was out.
And those calls, those 21 calls range from everything from domestics to a child that came up messing with Granby Point Apartment that's located down that college apartment. So that in itself is not that far when you think about a small child walking by that interstate and stuff. Kind of scary. Anyone has any questions, I'll take them. Thank you.
Chief Thornhill.
Good evening, everyone. Our department today wasn't quite as exciting as police department.
That's good.
That's a good.
Good thing. We have seen a little uptick back in January. We had an uptick on house fires, so I just want to remind everyone about fire safety in winter. Alternate sources of heating, be careful with space heaters, that sort of thing. Keep everything away from them 3 feet. Just read the warning labels and then pay attention to what you're doing. I'd mentioned the last meeting about Robert Burnside, our newest guy that has completed a 3-year apprenticeship program. He took his test and passed. So he has completed that. And I'll get him in front of council soon for recognition of that. I'm waiting on a promotion to have him around that. And ladder truck repairs, I know I told all of you, the parts are ordered. Some of those, one of those parts has to be stamped out at the factory in Ocala, Florida. And one of the other parts has to be made here locally. And I will try to keep the mayor up to date on when that truck is back up. Right now, that truck is completely out of service, so we will not use it. So with that, I have nothing else, but congratulations, sir. I miss looking at her and Harold, but congratulations. But I'll take anyone's questions anybody has.
You might want to note that we do have ladder backup with South Charleston.
Yes, we do. With Charleston and South Charleston, we have agreements. And South Charleston is coming automatically with us anyway. We have agreements with Charleston Fire Department and South Charleston. And which come to shove, we have agreements with Nitro as well. We're covered. It's just ours. I'll get it back as soon as I can get back.
Thank you. Sanitary Department Assistant Director, Mayor,
Council, citizens, with the freezing and thawing, we've had a few lines break, so we're working primarily to get those back in service. And right after that, we hope to start on the storm drains that the mayor and the council has chose for us to prepare. Any other questions?
Building Inspector, Mr. Leishman.
The street department gave the mayor this before with us vacant properties, and some other issues around town. I signed Greg to follow up on the yard issues. I worked on vacant properties. I've heard everybody list of what's going on with them. The list Greg gave you, I've got some modifications to make, so I'll get those done this week. Put them in a box. I got a little more info on some of the stuff he does. The one I wanted to point out is you all had 213 Hall Avenue. I'm assuming that was reported that house over in that block. It's actually our house now, it was a couple of days ago. It's not quite ready to go to demolition, but as soon as I'm a little further along in the school, I'm working on that now. We'll bring that back up. And as far as demolition goes on 213 Hall Avenue, was also large. The justice inspector did Friday, waiting for the report, and also had to do 301.5 feet. Council again, I'd like to report on that also. If there's a statement, I'll have to advertise the bid for the abatement companies. And if we're not, we'll go straight for demolition. So we're moving along, it just takes a little bit of time to do it. Any questions, comments?
Get any, get a response from Myers Avenue, 19th Street, the owner,
Okay.
still not.
He doesn't like me there.
It's fine.
Well, I'd give it less than seven.
Well, at that juncture, I think you all really need to give a round of applause for the street committee. They went out all day long and generated a 6-page list of things that they wanted to be taken care of, and Public Works Department, you and others are starting to tick them off. They're not ticked off, they're starting to tick them off the list. that almost came out sideways. So, I think you all really need to commend them for taking their time and coming out and doing that. And I think they will continue to do it, the four of them working together, it's really beneficial to the city. All a member from each of the 4 wards out there driving and being unified and trying to come up with pointing out problems.
Could you name the ones that are on the street committee for the thing?
Well, we might look at Connie Thompson,
I put you,
Jim Hughes, Mike Scipio,
now we'll be done.
now Doug.
Harold was on
You get a ride with them next time.
Bring your pen and paper, you can be the secretary.
Well, I've got a list of mine already.
It may already be on here, you have to look at it.
I will, yes, sir.
Okay.
Anybody has questions?
Yes, Mr. Thank you for your efforts.
So, next on the agenda, we have Public Works, Mr. Elliott.
Mayor, council, citizens, I want to personally thank you all for the purchase tonight. Connie, thanks for helping verify the money and working on that. This is a big thing because we had one of our dump trucks go down last week in the middle of a snowstorm. I had to fabricate one up, so we needed this truck very badly. We're sorry about the salt not getting out here on time, but whenever it snaps in the middle of it, we can only work so fast to get another one up. But it's up and running now. The new one will be up and running in the next week or two. The trailer is going to be coming into great use. As the mayor said, there's a list out here that we're going to be starting on. And when I was leaving the garage today, I saw that I need to send my litter crew back out very badly along Dunbar Avenue, Charles Avenue, 10th Street, and Route 25. So they'll be getting on that probably tomorrow. Anybody have any questions, I'll take them right now.
I have a question. I just want to thank you for working on the alley behind me.
Told you I'd get it.
I know.
We're working on the alley still, as the weather permits. I'm doing that when it's raining. It's just easier for me to get the guys together and get it out there. So it's coming along. And if no one believes we do a lot, so far in the month of January, we picked up 188 tons of garbage just for the city. That's just the garbage, the 6 guys picking up garbage every day. So that doesn't count putting the gravel out, putting everything else going on. Thank you, guys.
I just wanted to mention, I came in and spoke to Bill about something, and he said that on those really cold days, you all had someone to pick up a truck, station the guys out during the cold, and I think that's very admirable of whoever thought of it and whoever enacted it, because it was very cold those days. But you had to help make it happen, and you
It worked good. Originally I put out that we probably wouldn't get all of Thursday's garbage picked up. I had a couple of people complain because they read it that we would not. And they came down today to bring the garbage too. But we had it all picked up on Thursday.
the safety of the employees was essential. So I appreciate it. Whoever thought of it, whoever made it happen.
They appreciate it.
I'm sure they did.
Scott, I think it'd also be worth noting that the purchase of a new trailer is to replace one that's grossly undersized and damaged as a result of that, and that's why we purchased it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Last year when we hauled the equipment that we rented to do the streets, miller and everything, it was too much weight to snap the axles. And that's what we got the trailer. And one thing I wanted you to know, if you didn't notice, Roxalana Road, there's your church parking lot.
It's dry. It's all about their work, but it's not much.
It's dry. That water was bothering me every time I come down through there. Now, after the other one's done, it'll happen.
State of West Virginia should be. Appreciate it.
Okay. Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mayor.
Recreation.
All right, next, this weekend, but next weekend is Critter Dinner. I know some of the council asked last time about the parking, and we had a meeting last week with the chief and I. A bunch of us around this table talked about it. We're not gonna give out cards. I think some of the guys in the reserve know who y'all are. So we're not gonna give that out. The VIPs, council, handicap will have the parking lots at the rec center and at the armory. Anybody that's on staff that day, like my department, or anybody from Scott's crew, or anybody that can help volunteer with cooking or whatever, they're going to park over at the State Farm building. Now, council, I'd like to have y'all VIP, I'd like to have y'all there by like 11 o'clock so you know about what you're serving. If you want to come earlier, anybody else want to come earlier and help with the prep of the food, like, you know, there's a lot of stuff still got to go on in the kitchen with like green beans, mashed potatoes, anything like that, they can come, you know. I'll be there probably about 7:30. Lawrence and them will be there probably doing that probably about 8. So anytime between 8 and 10, if anybody wants to come earlier to help open cans, get them in the pans, so we can start rocking and rolling. We'll probably start prepping food on Thursday, start cooking something on Friday, and then me and this guy's gonna be on the radio on that Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning.
What's earlier? I mean, I'm not.
94.5?
QE.
97.5.
We're going to,
I'm just going with him.
Al Woody's son Chris took that over, and we're gonna take a couple things and do along with a couple things. I'm gonna be might be interesting.
94.5 has been advertising big time.
Yes, they are giving us free advertising if we just put a little bit of a logo on the back of the shirt, so they're doing that for us for free. So that takes care of Critter Dinner, and still we still have spots for the March 2nd flea market. It is for people in, so people need to get down there. Yeah, like I said, get with Joanne or anybody at the staff about the prices, time, whatever, like that. We will be running like a small concession stand that day. Probably get hot dogs, stuff like that. Just trying to get people out, you know, in the city, so,
I would, based on one of my experiences at Critter Dinner, for those of you that aren't going to work and coming down there, I would park at Shawnee and take the shuttle bus. You'll get there much easier. You'll get back much faster, and it won't be near as congested or hassle trying to find some place, you know, to park and go through all that hassle.
We've had that too. People like, want to come and get in line and serve, you know, it's just, yeah.
But now the shuttle's not going to start running
So
until.
about, like, I think sometime between 11 and 11:30, somewhere in there.
If you're working, it's not an option, but if you're just coming down to have fun, you know, that would be the best thing, because that would limit how much walking you'd have to do.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever you park.
It's going to stop you right there at the flagpole on the rec center. And me and Chief discussed, we will have your spot right across the street from the wall. And me and her will be going the driveway. So no one else parked behind me. Bonnie.
Hey, Bob,
Yes, ma'am.
for a nominal fee, they can park at my house and just walk.
Oh, and another thing, the amounts that I gave y'all for the meats, you know, it's kind of like they're starting to weigh the meats are starting to come in, and the prices has come down. The online is different than when you call in and get the wholesale stuff. It is starting to come down.
You know, you could.
Yes. Yes, I got, myself, Billy Huffman, the manager of Dunbar on 16th Street. Tony from the sanitary board, Mike Durham, that used to work for the sanitary board, Scott Elliott. Who was it said they had, who else spoke? See? And Lars from the,
Just to make up, didn't I?
you what?
You and Billy did make up on.
Billy Dunlap, yeah, he loves me. He just wore out.
All right.
Okay. Next item, public comments.
Well, I'd just like to offer my congratulations to Doug and taking Mr. Crago's place. I'm sure that he will do a good job.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Council. Councilwoman August, we'll start with you this
I also want to congratulate Doug, welcome to the council, and he's got some big shoes to fill, so. Have you seen his shoes? Yeah, but Harold's been around, was around for a long time. So, he left a legacy, you gotta keep it up.
Just got a couple of things. First of all, I want to thank all of our staff and council. It's definitely a privilege to work with everybody that works together. Seems like everything that comes up anymore, we overcome it real quickly. We all decide on it very quickly. The street department, like I said, we spent several hours out there with Honolulu. This is just a touch of it, and it's already being jumped on. From vacant houses to street repairs to trash and everything else. So I really commend all of you guys for working together and making things happen. Scott, I know that the snow removal thing, you always get a bash about that, but of course when it starts snowing at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, I know you're out because I am out too. I've been pushing snow for 35 years. I know what it's like to get out there, and then it's people don't know it yet, get it and do it. But you can only have them, a little bit at a time. The police department, I'm privileged working in with those guys too. And as you read his report tonight, just for one day, I know last weekend, those guys were working 16, 18, 20-hour shifts. Our hats go off big time to our police department with our, which is what we have. And our council, excellent job all the time. We work together and appreciate being on the team. Our neighborhood watch program usually is always the second Thursday of every month. This month, being Valentine's Day, it's going to be moved to the 12th. Tuesday the 12th downstairs for a neighborhood watch program. With that, I have nothing else to say, but welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard, Doug. Glad to have you back. Just don't forget the pension meeting, 6:30 on the 7th.
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out, the department heads, and welcome Mr. Fleshman to the council.
Welcome back.
Looking to see you. Got a new side partner here beside me.
You're locked in, you think that it's like the longer and larger than Carol beside me.
I'm just glad to have the opportunity to be back on council, as I said a while ago. I'm looking forward to serving on different committees that I have been so well appointed to, and the people that are on those committees also. And thank you, everyone.
Take them all just to welcome Doug back, and we look forward to we'll be working through things. And also just a note or two. Several years back, I think it was the last part of Mayor Leo through C.B. Brinkley, down Scared served, and some of you remember Mr. Gear, he passed yesterday. So it's just for your information, those of you who remember those dates. I don't know anything about arrangements yet. He did pass. And then to reiterate what Connie had stated, Thursday evening here in council chambers at 6:30 is a meeting for the full council, which you are welcome to come and to observe it. It'll be, as she mentioned, meeting with the state representative on the fireman's pension. So we have a lot of work to work our way through that. The police pension was restructured, Scott, 8 years ago?
Yes.
About 8 years, and so it is in solid shape. The fireman's pension is between, I just read last week, it's between 12.5 to 13 billion unfunded liabilities. So we're going through that process. And this is, the mayor's got the meeting organized and start that process. So that's Thursday at 6:30. And again, it's going to be posted, but you're invited. And then on the 19th, our next council night, it's a holiday on Monday, the 18th. So we'll be on Tuesday. Traditionally, finance starts at 6 o'clock. Again, everybody's welcome to come. But this time we'll be actually starting at 4:30. And it will be the first start working through the rough draft of the next year's budget. And so again, you're welcome to come. It's a long evening. We'd love to have you so you can see how the budget is developed for the year and just work through that process. And Connie, the clerk, gets a lot of information together, and then we start line by line working through it and hearing from the department heads. But that'll be on the 19th at 4:30. And then that meeting has to be finished by 7 o'clock for council meeting day. So that's all.
I just want to say, welcome, and I think we can take it. Well, just those legs, yeah.
And what's wrong?
Yes, no. Yeah. Avoid has that's the word.
I just, I wanted to comment, we got a bunch of hard-working people in our city. I particularly want to point out a couple of things. The mayor sends out a memo to us every few days with our pocket before a council meeting. It's just full of information to keep us abreast of what's going on in the city, what we're working on, and it's very much appreciated. One thing I noted this time that I wanted to bring up was our police reserves, and I thought it was a very good comment. Didn't realize this was all going on. Our police department gives them a lot of support and training. We have a couple of councilmen that serve on the reserves, and the result of that, we've got a very active group of reserves, and there's people from outside Dunbar that are coming to Dunbar and want to be a part of our reserves. And I just think it's worth noting that appreciate you guys, appreciate the police department, what you guys do. Thank you. Such a good.
I got just one thing to add. I think 2 weeks ago, I had to have the application in on January the 21st. We were invited to apply for a Blueprint Communities program, which is sponsored by the West Banco is one of the banks that's in the conglomerate of the federal something or other, federal housing loan group or whatever. But anyway, what they do is they provide guidance and organization to communities to help us identify some of the needs that we have with substandard housing. Also, how to go about moving people toward lending institutions and so forth for assisted financing to make repairs. We tried that with Habitat for Humanity back 8 or 9 years ago, and it was really a flop because people identified Habitat for Humanity's program as kind of they come in and do everything for you. In reality, with some of the housing rehab, you have to buy the materials, and then they will try to put together a workforce to come in and do that. So people weren't really interested in that from that standpoint. So there's a lot of training that goes into play from this oversight Blueprint Communities to help train the community to school and counsel the people on how to implement the program. So it'll take about a year, 2 years for it to become an active thing. We have some members that's been identified. I don't know if you all probably know Diana Painter. She worked at the Governor's Development Office for years. She also worked at the Regional Intergovernmental Council and taught entrepreneurship. So she's very familiar with organizations and groups and structures and how to do applications and deal with those types of things. Andrew Mallory, we have to have a realty person, and the Mallory Group has been active in Dunbar for years, so he's agreed to be our realty associate on the board. The two fire chiefs are kind of ad hoc members. They're not active members. Lanny Coberly agreed to serve as somebody from the involved in community outreach. And then Carolyn O'Brien, a member from the Women's Club. So what I'll be reaching out to here in the very near future, we're going to have a meeting on February the 12th. They're going to be visiting the city. We made it through the first cut of the application. They'll be visiting the city on the 12th, and we'll have those people there, plus Jason Johnson, who's the manager of the West Bank in Dunbar. We'll be meeting with them, and then from there, we'll probably be trying to target some other people that want to get involved in the community, because in April or May, we'll be starting some of their training sessions to get everybody up to speed as to what the program really is, what your targeting is. And we set our priorities of what we want to do, and they'll help us try to figure out how to achieve those priorities. So that's where we are moving in that regard. So hopefully it'll be a way that we can maybe start targeting some of the distressed properties that are redeemable. Instead of just demolishing everything, we may have some alternatives to help redeem them, repurpose them, and we can also get financing for demolition if it's necessary. So that's where that program, it's just in its infancy. We'll be having a meeting, like I said, on the 12th, and from there we'll see if we make the cut to be a final selected community involved in it. That announcement will be made probably April or May.
Mr. Mayor, for the good of the order, if there is no other city business, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.